What's good, family? Welcome back to Power After Hours, your favorite Power podcast. And we are here to recap Power Book 2 Ghost, Season 2, Episode 8. 888, drug related. That's the name of the episode, drug related. Jeff J on this side, and on the other side, I got my brother Said Sean. He was on the podcast a couple of years ago. You was with us with Power Book 1, way back in the BL before live days, before we got so sophisticated and whatnot. Know y'all wondering where Chrissy is. Chrissy's under the weather today, so definitely send her all your healing messages. Hit her up on social. Definitely send all your positivity and healing her way. Chrissy, we miss you. We're gonna see you next week. But this week I had to tap my brother Said, who's always tapping in with the podcast, talking about the world of power, coming in today to talk about this wild ass episode. How you feeling, bro?
Hey man, peace to you, man. Peace to the audience. Love what you guys are doing. Power After Hours. You know, I've been supporting since the beginning, and I just love to see the level up, man. You continue to keep taking it up a notch.
You already know, bro. You already know. So, yeah, man, and like I said, like trust me, y'all, when I say Chrissy was doing everything in her power to try to make it like, you know, about to have the scruffy voice like DMX. And Said already know how dedicated she is, but she gonna be good. She sent her notes, she sent her love, so we gonna get cooking. So off the bat, bro, like, what did you think about this episode?
Hey man, listen. First off, yeah, 100% shout out to Chrissy, man. I love her energy. Y'all just make such a dope show.
Thank you, bro.
The episode. So you know, I don't catch the show always at midnight, right? Like honestly, I always end up catching it that next morning. So it's tricky, and I can't play around with Twitter because I don't want no drama. But you know, I went on a friend's page. I was just responding to something, and I saw, did Diana need to have all that violence? And I know we're gonna get to it, no, but I said, oh wait. My mind started racing. I'm like, did Diana beat Effie up? Like, what's going on here, right?
And so, you know, those are like one of those tip-offs where that's your sign. Get off of Twitter and watch the show, because the next one you see is gonna be a spoiler.
I immediately logged out. I immediately logged off, right? Like immediately. I was not playing those games, because I was really looking forward to this episode, and it didn't disappoint, man. It did not disappoint. I just love that the last time I was on this show, I was rooting for Tariq to get killed, and now I am. I'm a fan of Tariq St. Patrick. I'm rooting for Mr. St. Patrick.
Yeah, man. I think it's fun. It's funny, and you know, said no, and y'all know I ain't on the name dropping thing, but I was covered the Hoops Classic, the Legends Classic over in Newark, the HBCU Classic that the Michael B. Jordan sponsored along with Turner Sports, and the Legacy Classic, excuse me. And you know, Michael Rainey Jr. was there. So this dude, first off, if y'all don't think Power has love in the streets anymore, maybe in certain demographics, you might think it's funny. Not his demographic, bro. That dude was one of the most popular dudes, and there was stars in the building, right? So I spoke to him, and I just let him know, like, you know, show him all the love, send him all the love from the Power After Hours community. And it was funny. We was talking about it, how he's like, yo, they used to hate you, bro. And now you turned the tide like a politician. He was like, yo, it's crazy. That's all he could, like, he was just like, yo, it is crazy how the switch flipped. And I think it's mostly because he's his own man now. Yeah. Now, before, what he did was his consequences directly affected characters that we knew and loved when he was a secondary. But now when we see the ramifications and the effects that his life has had on him, and him literally picking up the pieces to try to be his own man, I think that's one reason it endears him to the community. The other reason is, yo, he grown now, so he understands that certain actions have consequences. So now he's moving a little different, right? So
I would say one thing that I think they did a great job in the writers' room is he went from an entitled, spoiled brat. Like, we were like, yo, dog, you know what I mean? Like, it was annoying how entitled he was when he hadn't put any work in. And what they've done a great job is like I don't know that entitled little boy no more because they gave him real life problems, real, you know what I mean? Like he's had to deal with the consequences of his actions, and it's so much pain and trauma, right? And so they've been able to kind of wrap that up. And even though, you know, he killed his pops, you know, now you looking at him like, yo, you just your pops. And now we rooting for your pops in you, right? Because we got love for your pops. We understand your pops was problematic, but sure. But I just think by them taking out that entitled little spoiled brat thing, they I love how they turned it, man. I really do. That's a fact.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Shout out to Rainy J, who says, I watch in the morning if I don't have no liquor in the house a Saturday night. You know what I'm saying? So I get that. Yeah, like for me, it's I will if I'm around at midnight to watch and to be able to lock in, I'll lock in as soon as possible. If I don't watch it Saturday night, even to the point where if I'm up, if for whatever reason I'm not watching Saturday night, I won't even be on social like that. Like I'll cut it off at midnight. Even like, let's say we in a Twitter spaces or something like that. Like I stay in the spaces. You know what I mean? Like just stay in there, not reading anything, because I know some people will watch it at midnight and tweet about it and do all those things. So try not to avoid. But yeah, if it ain't midnight, it's first thing when you get up. Or if I can't get to it, it's when I get to it is when I get to it, and I just stay off to avoid it. But yeah, man, like this thing about Tariq is really fascinating. We're gonna go through it. The two main places where shit really popped off was in the courtroom and in the Tejada household, right? Like that, yo, those last 10, 15 minutes were intense. Like some of the most intense we probably seen in the history of power. But we go first to the trial. They giving their arguments. You know, Sullivan, the prosecutor, she's trying to convince the jury to believe that this kid who goes to college is actually a double murderer, while Davis is saying like, yo, they don't even really have the evidence like that. And it ain't until Sullivan pulls out the big joker and says, we have a recording that will link him to the murder. And Davis like, whoa, we never heard of this recording, whatever the case may be. This, of course, is the wiretap that Lauren had on her wrist on the wristwatch that basically right on the rollie that said where Tariq admitted that he knew who the subject of Jabari's novel was. So they have that, and you can see the dynamic with Davis trying to convince the jury and the different reactions, and Sullivan also. But this throws in a new hook because at this point it was circumstantial. But now that they have an actual recording, it's something that could potentially take Tariq down. So with this one, you know, Davis is like, yo, this. Did you know about it? Asking him about it, whatever the case may be. Like, yo, I don't know what they talking about. And Davis bottom line in it saying, I could figure it out, but you got to pay me. Like straight up, this is what it is. You're gonna have to pay me my money. What did you think about that scene, the opening scene in the courtroom?
I loved it, man. I mean, I just think as far as we know all this, right? As the audience, we know all this is coming, and how do you find out, right? And I thought it was dope that, and I'm jumping ahead, but you always wonder how is Tariq going to get this information? How is he going to find out who it was? Right. And so I thought the way they set it up was really smart and allowed for some future alliances to take shape. I thought that was super cool. I was super. I love the episode. I had a good time watching that, man. I've watched certain scenes repeatedly.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was. Yo, it's so nuts when you think about it, because this dude, for the most part, it looked like he was gonna get out, then he's back in with this whole trial thing, and even getting to the point of how he can discredit that recording. What can he do, right? And you know, Davis has his ways. Davis has his ways, and he gets the recording from Sullivan. Of course, he can't play it because he'll get disbarred. They'll be thrown out. Like everything's going on because it can only be between the lawyers. So he leaves the room so that Tariq can hear. Tariq finds out that it is Lauren who had him on there. And Sax is like the guy who has seen all of power and lived it and knows what's gonna happen. Now that Tariq, he has a pretty good idea that Lauren may be in danger, right? So he blows it up and says, "Yo, it wasn't her. She wasn't trying to snitch on you. Carrie was the one who convinced her." So you can see the wheels. You can see the wheels turning with Tariq. Like, oh, okay, I'm gonna handle it. I ain't going to admit to nothing. And something that may prove important for the future episodes. He's still smashing Sullivan. Sax is, and he's pretty much leaks that Tariq knows that Shorty's voice is on the recording, that Lauren tapped had a wire on her and she might be in danger. So that's part of why she tries to get Lauren out of there so that she don't gotta she could be protected. But then figuring out what they're gonna do. You know what I mean?
So the Sax alliance is what I was alluding to, right? Like to your point, Sax knows the world of power, and I was just happy that they didn't make us wait 2 more episodes for Tariq to understand. Tariq has already been upset with Lauren because she kind of turned her back.
Wasn't
riding. So we've seen that. We've seen him close the door in her face. You know what I mean? We've seen all that happen already, and it was rewarding that he immediately knows it didn't go down like that. Right, and I call it an alliance with Sax because Sax and Davis are always kind of at odds anyway. Right. And these are characters that we know are going to be on the show, and so these backdoor deals, these handshakes, they've always proved fruitful in the world of power. So I was hyped for that, and again, how they start rolling it all together. You know what I mean, like. The lady Saxon wants to be in a relationship with Sullivan. He wants to have like some type of moral compass mid smash. You know what I mean? Like so. I like that. I was glad they gave us that because sometimes we gotta wait.
Yeah, and even with Sax, right? For someone, we question Sax's whole moral scope throughout the series. Is he really about justice? Is he trying to elevate his own standing and elevate his own position in the company? Is it a little bit, is it a combination of the two? We don't know, right? We haven't really known. I think at this point he's someone he damn sure could have lost his life to it, right? He escaped with his life. He lost his job to it, right? Damn near almost got killed by the St. Patrick's. Got low-key backdoor implicated in Ghost murder when Tariq pressed him, knows that Tariq killed Ghost. So he knows anything this family touches with between Ghost, Tommy, Tasha, he's been all in it. So he doesn't want to be involved in it anymore. So of course, when he goes to the other side and Tariq is there, then he's looking at it like, yo, they about to get me caught up again. Nah, I can't have this. That's why he tried to cut the deal. That's why they didn't want to tell him about Tasha trying to get in contact with him for witness protection, because he knows what could possibly happen and what the odds are saying will happen if Tariq knows too much. And that could somehow blow back on him. So I feel like he's in this conflict where at this point, he wants Tariq out of his hair. Away from him, because people around Tariq usually get got.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like he understands his family, right? Like, and that's the interesting thing about the St. Patrick's now is like they are like, while Tariq is alone because of the work that his mother, father, a godfather put in, he's a part of a larger family, a larger story. And I think, man, when we get to he was looking like a boss later on in the episode, and I like to see that.
Yeah, no doubt. Power After Hours, your favorite power podcast. Jeff J said, Sean filling in for the incomparable. Chrissy Bree be back next week. On the men, send her all your well wishes, all your healing wishes. You already know. She was in my ear telling me everything I needed to say. So I got all her notes in here. It's definitely her favorite part, which we gonna talk about in a minute. She already sent me all the notes. So what you hear from me, you definitely hear from her as well. Shout out to Greenfly who says, can we talk about the black lady juror? She wasn't buying anything Sullivan was saying. Like, yeah, he's already off. I'm gonna tell you that right now. If this goes to trial, they not flipping that sister. She wasn't hearing them at all.
She wasn't hearing nothing that they was talking about, though. I loved her faces, man. Like she was telling it all right up in here, man. Like, get out of here.
Right. You could tell she was like, let me see how you gonna try to incriminate this black man. That's why Sullivan went with the, I know they gonna say, you know what I'm saying, it's all about race, but it ain't about this, it's about justice. She was like, all right, let me hear about your justice, man.
And gave us with the clapback. Well, like they already had another young black man, right? You know what I'm saying? Like it's an uphill battle for them in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to the Westbrooks 13. Says Sachs tried to hit Jenny with the stroke game and failed. Yeah, it wasn't hitting the same way.
It wasn't hitting.
He must have fell off because a few weeks ago he was getting all the info, all the intel, everything was cool. She has some boundaries though, so that wasn't really hitting. So of course, you know, and this is kind of like the subplot of everything going on with this trial, right? The other side of why Tariq is so pressed to get this thing done is where he finds out through his lawyer. Shout out to my brother, my brother who played Elvin on the Cosby Show. You know what I mean? I'm so glad, by the way, he got that work after all that BS. My guy Jeffrey Owens, that he got through all that BS. He's a dope actor. Like that's like an actor with a capital T. You know what I'm saying?
He lives near me, right? So like I would see him before all that popped off, and I just saw him about a week ago. He was just doing a local run in the neighborhood, and I ain't stop at be no extra and be like, yo, man, you killing it on the show. But I think he's been a good ad.
Yeah, yo, where's Yaz? I know you know where she is, B. Where's Yaz?
I gotta see that guy often. I don't want to be that weird dude.
Oh, let me guess, right? It turned into Curb Your Enthusiasm real quick. And what?
Yeah. I don't want to be that guy. I'm with my kids, man. I don't need to be that guy.
Right, exactly. But he lets them know, and this I love this small part of the scene because it shows how petty Ghost was, how calculated and petty Ghost still is from the grave. Where he had a clause in the will that said, if nobody else is around and Yaz is basically left on her own, let her go to a foster family, change her last name, keep her safe. Because while I think part of it was to troll whatever family was left, I think the greater thought was, or even the bigger picture, he knew that he still had enemies out there.
Yeah.
So more than likely, Tasha, Tariq, they could all get wiped out. And Yaz never was really in the picture. So you'd be shocked. You probably would have only known that he had another daughter when he started running for office and then the funeral and all that. But she's been in the background the whole series. So now so now protecting her is as of utmost importance. You know what I'm saying? So even him hearing that, he's like, yo, he had that all in his will. I've even seen some of the comments on the timeline like, yo, going back and forth like, yo, Ghost is really trolling him right now from the grave.
For sure, man. I mean, you said it all, bro. Ain't nothing I can add to that. That's a fact.
So, you had made a comment before about Tariq looking like a boss. And I think it was even more impressive of his boss status was when he met up with Carrie. Meets up with Carrie to talk about the whole situation where and the thing that I like about the canonical studies course, they have their studies directly impact the episode. So they're talking about truth. They're talking about truth and when is it right to lie? When is it right to tell a lie in order to for the greater good or whatever? And she gets put to the test because once she gets the call that Lauren might be in danger, she runs and tries to find Lauren and finds Tariq in the room, and they have that conversation. And I think that's the most Ghost I've seen in Tariq since this series began.
Hold on 1 second, man. I know we live. My son just came down with the iPad, and I know you can hear that in the background.
No, do your thing. I get the people. You know what it is. Power After Hours, we live. He said love the kids, and he love his own kids. He gotta take care of the kids. So he came through with the iPad. Hope he don't got power on that iPad.
Nah, no power, no power. Man came down with the iPad. I seen him. So look, on the whoever's watching me on the camera, they see me start doing a little bit of these.
Yeah, that's the parent vibes. Like,
yeah. Then he just turned the volume up crazy. I'm like, yo, come on. I text my wife. I don't know what's going on.
No, it's all he's all good. Listen.
But no, man, like so again, that's what I'm saying. I was just impressed with the movements. First of all, Carrie's been she's been down on her luck for me. Like, right, like I've been over her all season, right? And so Tariq had the opportunity to set her up. He could have put all this on her a long time ago, right? And he chose to not. He chose to destroy that burner phone after the cop called it, and he saved her, right? Now, granted, look, you can be like, oh, he saved her. Yeah, he said, like, he went out of his way, something that was very easy to keep himself clean, you know what I mean? And he saved her when he didn't have to. And she has gone above and beyond to dirty him, right? And I get it. There's death in here. There's a murder of her former, guy or what have you. But there's been a lot of selfishness on her behalf as well, right? And so the way that she did Lauren, I was happy to see him put her in a compromising situation because she had been so out for self all this time, and now look, now you put somebody in danger. I just thought the way that he flipped it on her was key, and it was really smart. He beat her at her own game in that moment.
Exactly, and I loved how Truth was the title. You know what I'm saying? You go back to Truth, the nightclub, so it's almost like a connection and reminder that he's gonna have to get in his ghost bag and get into his ghost manipulation bag. Like, yo, you wanted to protect your student, and you trying to tell me that's why, but you didn't want to get yourself caught out there, so you put someone. And let's keep it real. She's like, Lauren, her family's rich. They could get out of this if he wants to. In fact, she could have ate that drug case, and it would have got swept under the rug. Because anybody who's ever been to college, you're not, especially in 2022, you're not getting kicked off your college for having something in your dorm room. Yeah. You gonna get a ticket. You gonna get something like that. At worst, you getting kicked out the residence hall. At worst, you're not getting kicked out of school, bro. They're not losing that 20, 30K off a little weed, off a little, you know what I mean? You could be doing Rue Euphoria level drugs. They're not kicking you out. Now, if you selling it,
I don't know about Rue. You're doing a hard drug. Like, I don't know about Rue, but I'm you went to Rue.
That 30K, did you get the little something? You get to talk in the back room, like, yo, this is the
Rue has heroin. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Heroin is.
I mean, now, oh yeah, you're right. They're gonna talk heavy opioid crisis talk. Yo. So yeah, so it was just nuts because he was calling her bluff and at every moment, and she probably was like, yeah, Lauren will get past this. It's whatever. But I can use her to get at Tariq because at the end of the day, she loved Jabari and wanted whoever killed him down, did her own. And remember, she's also a former prosecutor.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, she's not good.
She knew the vibe. She put 2 and 2 together and was like, "Oh, this is what the motive is. This is who we wanted it to be." So that's what it was. So that's the way that's where I'm gonna roll with it. But then he said, "Yo," he basically implied either you could take the stand and try to make your case, or Lauren can take the stand, and now you're responsible for someone's death.
I mean, 100%. What's it going to be? What's it going to be? And I loved it. I loved it because, again, the way that Carrie manipulated Lauren was so nasty. You know what I mean? And then the way she flipped it on her afterwards. Like, after you tried to pretend to be a friend, you know what I mean? Like, to coax up your CI, whatever it may be. Mm-hmm. And then to be like, well, you shouldn't have got caught with drugs. Like, like as if she wasn't dirty in her own right. You know?
Right. Power After Hours, your favorite power podcast. We'll get to the comments. Michelle, what up? Michelle says Sax has every right to be scared. Ghosted Tommy. Sax has every right to be scared. Ghosted Tommy, scared the piss out of him. Yeah, he definitely was pressed. Shout out to Ty. Yo, go sending him messages from the dead is funny as fuck to me. Yeah, like he's been doing that since jump. And I know the internet is gonna get a lot of use of the reading of the letter. I saw somebody, I don't know if you peeped at the tweet where they quote tweeted Aaron Rodgers all his shortcomings, like he like it's like 9 straight, and someone did the Tariq, yo. It was a little nigga, you right where you right where I knew you gonna be all along. Yo, I started losing it, bro. So yeah, so I seen shout out to, I see Tariq popping around the corner, was definitely showing OG ghost vibes. Tariq ain't even need a gun to scare the fuck out of Carrie. They did a good
Thomas, man. You got a dope ass live community.
Man, they going in right now.
Yeah.
They do a good job with that, with the books for what they were reading in the first season. Yeah, especially in the first season. They connect the lesson in the first, they connect the lesson to the episode, which is dope. And they do it subtly and really effectively. And yeah, and they also saying I'm wilding about saying Rue level drugs won't get you kicked out. Like, yo, Rue, yeah, I won't say. Read Josiah's comment if you trying to catch up on Euphoria. And for those who, I know there's people listening to both, I won't say what it is. But yeah, let's just say that there's a lot of Rue and Tariq right now are vibing. You know what I'm saying? She watches a lot of Power. Rushandria said that bitch is definitely lying when she left out of the room, for sure. Like that she was really on it like that. I saw a comment from my man Mark. Let me see if I can.
I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm not even caught up on Euphoria because, man, that show is dark, man. Like it's like I watched the first season. I watched them 2 episodes in between.
Oh yeah,
I'm just not prepared right now. I'm gonna watch it. My wife's been watching it, but I'm not ready yet.
It is one of the most beautifully shot and emotionally disturbing shows I've ever watched at the same time.
Yeah,
it's like, yo, this shit looks blow. It's almost
that's a great way to describe it. That is a fantastic way to describe.
Yeah, it probably almost mimics like a being trippy, right? Like everything, the colors and everything looks
colors are amazing,
going down in time. But the fuck is going on? Like what the fuck is going on?
I don't like it.
Shout out to Mark Hosey. He manipulated her to get on the stand knowing Davis was going to get her ass. And I saw a lot of folks that was talking about it like, yo, and that's what I thought. I was like, yo, you really going to get on the stand? You really going to get on the stand knowing you just had that conversation with Davis saying you're going to eat you up? But I think this was more so, it was like Carrie's fuck you to everything. Like, I'm going to take control. I'm going to do this. It's about Tariq. It ain't about me. She made a bad mistake, bro.
She made a bad move.
Davis ate her up, bro.
My thing with Carrie is very smart, but I don't think that she gave thought to the cross-examination. And she's a prosecutor. I just think that there was a part of her that she had put Lauren in a lot of danger, and so she had to wear that. She had to own that. But also, I don't think she thought through how she could be successful given what they had on her, right? Of course, maybe she doesn't think Davis is going to bring up their relationship, right? Because Davis is married. So let's give a clap to Davis for how he will go hard that he would even, you know what I mean, put himself at risk for his wife knowing that he's out here cheating, right? So right. I don't think she thought he was going to go there, like, you know. And she should have thought that he would go any and everywhere, given that she's not the most credible person.
Right. Not to mention, she's shown that because of like her sex addiction and all of that, she doesn't make a lot of smart decisions in those moments. And it might have been a little bit of hubris too. And definitely shout out to Lazy in the chat. Please also chime in. You know, usually we got Chrissy here to provide the other side. So just in case there's any blind spots that we have and we're not seeing.
I do want to say about this too, though, Jeff. I do want to say that.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I think because of what we've been seeing on the internet with, I can't remember the name of that podcast where they shit on.
No, we're not doing. Yeah, we're not.
I'm not saying the name.
Talking to. Yeah.
It's big business to shit on black women, right? And so watching Carrie, who I don't like, the character I don't like. She annoys me. But watching her be decimated like that in the last 2 episodes, still felt I felt the way just as like just on some like black man seeing a black woman. Just even though I don't like the character in this TV, I had a visceral reaction to the way that she was, slut shamed and just treated in ways that men would never be treated. You dig what I'm saying? Like that shit would get wiped under the rug. So I felt that way. I don't know if anybody else felt that way, but I did feel that way, and I said that to my wife.
Yeah, and it's a line, right? Because they do bring up those vibes too. Like when Whitman tried to bring it up to her, and he's like, "Yo, it's like, how many men do you know would be paraded as sex addicts, and it'd be a bad thing?
Yeah,
and it'd be a bad thing, like Lil Wayne said, he had sex with the whole world, the literal whole world. Everybody was just like, young moolah, baby, you know what I'm saying? And then turned up. So, but I think I try to keep it focused on like her character and just what it is, like just what it is, right?
Yeah. No, I get it.
That's the thing about the art. They're gonna show fucked up things, right?
But that's the her, the art, right? Is that they're making us like for that to have that reaction on me. I think that speaks to the writing, and I know what I mean. Some people feel whatever they feel, but I'm all in on the Power universe. I watch all of the Power shows, and for me this season, the writing has been tugging at me in different ways, and I appreciate that. And shout out to the writers for that.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the Power Writers Room, the Ghost Writers Room. They active on social too. They be vibing with the community also. So shout out to them. So Davis, he pulls out the big guns on her, right? And it's like, yo, how can you be trusted? Like you will lie to protect the truth. You had a relationship with Jabari. They're like, all right, you had a relationship with Jabari. You had a relationship with the lead detective on this case. You had a relationship with another student.
Who's this?
And you had a relationship with me. Right? And then he brings up the whole Stansfield policy and why she didn't bring it up. And it's like, yo, you will lie to protect yourself. So you'd lie to protect the client. And he's like, it's not about me. Like she tried to deflect it. He's like, no. It is about you because now with Lauren's not testifying no more because they getting out of her parents ain't hearing that shit. Not for some drugs. She even said it like not for like, and you see like the little dig where the parents were like, at least your brother he was an addict, but he didn't get caught with no drugs on him.
Yeah.
And they probably like, we didn't even want him dating this other kid. We wanted you to stay with the kid with the credentials.
They shouted out Malcolm. I believe they shouted him out.
Right. And they're like, and now you telling me you in danger for Tariq? Nah, that's it. We shutting it down. Right. So now Carrie had to deal with all of that. Gets off the stand. Job is in jeopardy. Right. And then we find her at the end of the episode after a talk, we found her hung.
Yeah.
We found her hung, right? And we're gonna get to the mess. Don't worry, y'all. We definitely Power After Hours, your favorite Power. We're gonna get to the mess. But I wanted to close that chapter before we got 2 more big things to talk about. But I definitely wanted to close that chapter, and we'll probably come back to it. Actually, yeah.
How do you feel about the hung? How do you like? Do you want to do it now? And so because there's so much.
Yeah, we could do it now. We could do it now because after a talk with Monet, Zeke finds her hung in her apartment. So there's a couple of things with that, right? Well, the biggest thing is everybody wondering, did Monet kill her or did she commit suicide? What do you think?
Man, it's one of them funny things where I liken it to The Godfather Part 2, where Tom goes and has a conversation. I can't remember my man's name, but he was going to snitch. And then, they threaten his family. And he says, look, we're going to take care of your family, but you got to eat this. You got to go out. And he kills himself in the bathtub. But that came out of a conversation that was really a threat. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just a nice, sweet conversation. So no. I'm curious if the Monet conversation was a threat where she said, I'm gonna just go out, because I feel like Monet would have just shot her, right? Like, and so the hanging, not that Monet can't stage a hanging, but Monet hasn't given me she thinks
elegant killing vibes.
Right? Like,
killing vibes, right? Yeah.
Like she thinks she's a little bit smarter than she is, and that's a very smart play. I'm not sure that I buy that.
Yeah, and y'all in the chat, let us know. Also, if you're watching this after on the replay, and to my OGs, always shout out to the OGs listening on the podcast. Send us all your info, all your questions, as we continue to debate this. Do you think Carrie committed suicide? Did she kill herself? Do you think Monet did it? I'm with you. I'm with you on it. Where everybody that we've seen Monet kill, it's been violent. It's
Yes.
been violent. It's been deliberate. It's been
Yes.
blunt, right? It has been nothing. It's been nothing elegant. It's been nothing sophisticated. It's been nothing sublime about it. There's nothing artistic about the way she killed. It's not like you're dealing with a Batman villain, a Batman serial killer, right? Like
Mm.
she's been direct and to the point. If you have an issue, if I need to kill you, I'm killing you,
Yeah.
right? Then you get into logistics of it, where if Monet killed her, right? Let's say Monet choked her out. Does Monet have the strength, as we know her, the character, right? Does Monet have the strength to set up a rope, get her up, put her on there, then release, and then walk away, right? I don't remember. Y'all tells me in the chat if you remember. I don't remember seeing Mo with any gloves or anything like that. She just had a regular tote. On the tote, she got the gat, right?
Yeah.
Right, she got the burner. She got the burner in a tote. But I wouldn't have expected that, right? For her to do all of that extra stuff, where she could either choke her out or just shoot her or whatever. So then and they did a good job of leaving some doubt, right? Because Carrie gets the text. Gets a text from Zeke, can I see you? Gets a text from the headmaster or whatever or the dean or whatever from Stansfield. Can you come in early to talk?
Yeah.
So the vibes. If out of nowhere your job hits you talking about coming in early to talk.
Yeah. I mean, she said to Monet that her life was ruined. She lost her job, career, all that. I mean, obviously that conversation, that pep talk from Congressman Tate, it did that shit wasn't working. You know what I mean?
Right. Like I would lean strongly on the killing herself for that. Let's see what the fam thinks. Some people say she killed herself. She lost everything and everyone. I don't see her willingly killing herself. Monet definitely killed her. Monet killed her, in my opinion. Carrie's tragic flaw, not having a Ring doorbell, would have saved her life. I don't know why she keep opening the door for these damn Tejadas, yo. I'd have been like, yo, if you anyone associated with that family and or Tariq, I'm not opening the door. I'm not opening the door for you. And then the door, somebody did say the door was left open. One person, Monet ain't lift a finger. She walked the hammer. She made Carrie climb up and hang herself. That's
I like that.
I like that. But
I would love that. That would give us some complexity to Monet's character, right? Because right now, to your point, it's very brute force.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that would give us some complexity. Listen, man, I'm excited because I know we got some things to talk about.
Yeah. No, we definitely. I will say about that. It was jarring to see, like for her to go out. Her death is probably one of the most disturbing for me, because people in this universe is either getting shot or choked out or blah blah blah. But to see her hanging, and the possibility of suicide and hanging herself and all of that, right? Here's another tip off that I just thought of. We didn't see any messages after the show for like suicide prevention or anything like that. I just thought about that. We didn't see anything like that. Maybe you don't add it, because if you do, you tip off the storyline.
Yeah.
That's the only other thing I could think of. And maybe that's something later on, if it is deemed a suicide, that they put it in afterwards, right?
Here's a question. Did we even see any RIPs? I haven't seen any RIPs. Like you know how we normally get an obituary or something. I know.
They stopped. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, they stopped doing. They haven't really done that in a while. Okay. Like Melanie, who plays Carrie. She just put like a cryptic message with her, like this is tough, and I can't wait to hear y'all responses to this and blah blah blah. She definitely gone, bro. But
I was glad that they didn't show more, right? Like I was glad.
Yeah, you didn't need to see that.
I didn't need to see that. You don't need to see that. We don't need to see that. And again, we don't need to see our bodies brutalized in that way. So I was
Right.
happy that we didn't see that.
Exactly. Power After Hours, your favorite Power podcast, getting into season 2, episode 9 of Power, of Power Book 2 Ghost Drug Related. So, Monet and Kane gotta pay Davis. Tariq gotta pay Davis. Tariq, Effie, and Braden, the cool white kid in the school don't got that puro, right? So they're at their wits end. They're at their wits end. So they come up. They're like, yo, we need the Tejadas. We got a plan. We're gonna rob your connect. They go, what?
What?
We gonna rob your connect.
We know who the connect is. We know how he gets down. We've seen what the connect is capable of.
So has Cade. So they say we gonna rob the connect. What was your thought when you heard him say, yo, I didn't think that was gonna be the plan. When they say, yo, we gonna rob your connect, I was like, what?
So they had the previews had shown the shootout at the at the hangar. And also Kane had said in the previous episode there's other ways to get money. And it was just something about that connected it for me that like, oh, they're gonna try to rob the connect. But I wasn't sure who was gonna make it out of there. I did not know that the plan was going to be as thorough, as ghost-like, as you know what I'm saying? And that's why I said, again, listen, man, shout out to Michael Rainey Jr. Bro, I hated you at the end of season 6. Like, I was like, man, get this mother, like, you know what I mean? But he came up in there with his little ankle bracelet. He got his little team. You know what I'm saying? And my man was like, look, this is how we're going to do it. It was smart. That's one thing that he's been able to do. And again, in this role, shout out to the writers, is, you know, Tariq is moving smart. He doesn't make a lot of huge mistakes. I'm not saying he doesn't make any mistakes, but he's thinking bigger than the people that he's working with, and his mind, right? Like, because we have to remember that this is a guy who's not a normal street dude. He's been well educated, had a silver spoon in his mouth by way of drug money, but he thinks different, right? And we see that in the canonical studies classes, but we see that when he's on the street. And he's been very smart in how he set himself up in some ways, even as far as course correct. Like, you know, his Braden's name is on that paperwork. You know what I'm saying? So he insulates himself in ways that I'm with it. So I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah, so that was the plan. They was gonna rob the connect, and they were going to blame it on GTG. So what was in it for everybody is, of course, they would get the money. They would get the money and the product to be able to sell, to give back to Davis. They would get the money, and for Drew, because they did bring Drew, they brought Drew, they brought Kane, they brought Tariq and his crew. They were like, yo, for you, Drew, Lil Guap gonna be dead. And that's somebody that you wanted dead for a minute. So that's your incentive. That's what's in for you. And what's in for everybody else is that nobody goes down for Ramirez and Jamari's murder, right? So their plan that they had set up, they're like, okay, Lorenzo and Diana can't know about it. So how are we going to confuse them? It's like, yo, Tariq, you hit Diana, like, yo, come to the court, come hang out. Cool. Monet, you take Lorenzo out. Go. You gotta take care of Lorenzo. And you see how tight she was? She's like, oh,
yeah.
I see y'all motherfuckers. Like, I'm like, yo, we telling you to have to spend time with your husband.
Let's spend some time with your husband. Whack ass date they had. That dude was trash.
They went to Coney Island on a weekday. It was wild, empty.
Trash.
That was the sentimental date. Now, remember what we used to this? Remember? And yo, she was so upset, bro, that she had to go down a date. It's like, yeah, no, this isn't Dante. I know they both look like, you know, Goldberg and Steve Austin. Goldberg one day, Steve Austin the next day. But this is your husband. You gotta go out with Steve Austin today.
Dante and Lorenzo are the Spider-Man memes, dog. Like, that is, she got a type. That's a fact.
Right. Exactly. So they get them off the board. They
grew up in Jackson Heights, man. It's you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of it's a lot of love going on over there. Grew up in Jackson Heights.
For real, yo, for real. So you know what I'm saying? They get they get them out of the way. Lil Guap's crew hit. Of course, Kane knows where the drop is. Lets Lil Guap and them know. They get the drop on Mecca's men. Shoot it up. They go to bag his product. Then they cut the power to Mecca's spot so that they can get in. They can get in and rob Mecca. So that whole stuff was so chaotic. Like even to the point where Braden goes in. The one thing about Braden I love is he knows how to utilize his privilege.
He got that white privilege on smash. He got it on smash. That PS5 tournament, and I was like, yo, and that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I enjoy the writing because it's like that is what that little what we talk about. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. He came in, it's like, yo, I got thousands of dollars. You don't think after I sue you? He's like, all right, sir. I'll do it already. Then Effie using her skill to fake like her grandmother fell and then gets the key from homegirl to locks her in, gets the key. Like
Effie
they had
it like Effie. I don't know about Effie's outfit, right? Like the little little red girl. I don't know. That was a little. I don't know. I'm not rolling with that outfit. I thought that was kind of disruptive. I wasn't rolling with Effie's outfit choice, but of course, great job, Effie.
It was effective. Now the part that I was like, yo, y'all, it always be one person that can mess up a plan. And Drew almost tanked this whole shit because of his beef with Lil Guap. Because I'm assuming the plan was they was gonna roll in a Mecca spot, steal his shit. Then Drew was gonna trap him in the spot or kill him in the spot so that they had somebody to pin it on. Because at the end of the day, it's like, who are you gonna pin it on? That's when Kane was like, this power going off. This remind me of some shit GTG used to do. Yeah. So he planted that shit in Mecca's mind ahead of time. And then when Drew was in the crib and Chef came back, and I was like, oh, Drew, because remember there was talk that there was going to be a major death, and we didn't know who the major death was. And of course, as Power fans, we speculate. But when he was in the crib, I was like, oh, this nigga's gone. Mecca gonna blow this nigga away. Like that's it.
It's over. It's over for everybody. And I mean, let's just jump back. Drew he's a prime example of somebody who's being forced to be somebody that he's not, right? And even he tries to be somebody that he's not. I'm gonna do it, and do it. Like I call this talking, right? Like, and it's like you want to have that moment. And now look, what's the guy from the videos that basically disarms people?
The self-defense.
That's who Lil Guap became. Okay, he became that dude, and you know what I'm saying?
No, he had the gun in his head. He hit him with the elbow.
You know what I'm saying? And then now Drew got to kill him in cold blood, like with his bare hands. Which there's always something that you be like. First of all, how Drew gets out of that damn apartment was like, man, Chef, shout out to Chef. I want to shout Chef out. Chef been a real one since the first time we seen him. That man, whoever these guys are that Dante has brought with him from overseas in his military time and all that, he has some thorough dudes with him.
Yeah, for sure. And even seeing Drew, first of all, Drew got bodies on him, but Drew, it felt like Drew didn't really want that smoke. Even though he wanted to kill him, he wasn't really trying to do it. That's why Lil Guap, they had like a pillow fight, and he was able to choke Lil Guap out. But then you lost your alibi. You know what I mean? So I guess if they eventually find out that he was in there and he gets killed, that's still a question. Like,
I think they find his body in the joint. I think they find his body and they make it the way that I'm seeing it is, regardless, they was gonna kill him in the spot, right? So it's more like they set GTG. I'm sorry, sets this in motion, and then somebody turns on Lil Guap. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like his own man. So like he's still implicated, but I mean, we're gonna get to the point because I when we get to right here where we're going, go ahead. I'm gonna let you set it up.
No, go ahead. What you setting up?
No. I think that well, first of all, to your point about Drew being in the crib, and he see all them guns. You know what I'm saying? Like that, like Dante is not here for play. Like that man has an arsenal.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so then
he got that military contract.
military grade. I mean, first of all, who the hell just has the hanger as a stash spot? I mean, so yeah, I don't know. He's clearly
In New York. He a wild boy. In New York, he a wild boy.
So then they're gonna go hunting, right? And they clearly go hunting. And man, when I tell you, you knew that Chef is who was about to die, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because he wasn't gonna kill Kane right then. But you saw the look. Dante knows what happened. It was too convenient.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Dante's not dumb. And
right.
I'm very interested to see. I told you earlier, man, I'm loving this character, right? Like just
Mecca / Dante.
Yeah, I'm loving this character because finally we have a plug who has a personality. Like Lobos had hella personality, right? But he wasn't. He was only just a plug. This is a plug who's now got teeth in the game of other people's stories in the show. So remember what was the one dude, Milan? Remember you could just kill Jason, right? Because it was like fuck them. They're just the plug. This is Zeke's dad. This is Shorty's old baby. Like this is messy.
So much skin in the game.
It's messy, and it's one of those things where you like, I saw that look he gave Kane, and it's like, how's this going to work?
Yeah, exactly. And I saw some like talk about why would he kill Chef? What would make him think? They set it up in the episode when they were having conflict. So clearly there was like Chef was questioning him. So Mecca must have seen him as disposable for whatever reason. And Chef in his own, for the little things we saw, that's a bad man. Like, this dude was like some real special ops looking, killing people, because he's the one who killed his other man. Remember, who beat up Tariq? Yeah, like his throat, right? Yeah. So that look that Kane gave Mecca, to me, I think it's one of those. If you weren't Monet's son, if you weren't low key my stepson,
yeah, you're dead.
You'd be out of here. Like I know, and this is the first. This is the only time y'all getting over on me. And think about this. He didn't realize yet that he got robbed.
He don't know the ring is missing yet.
He don't know the ring is missing. That's going to take it up another level.
That's going to take it up.
No, he got product for days because he's mad, but he's not rattled. And they killed off everybody associated with the GTG.
Yeah.
He murked them out. So he made his point. So it's going to be interesting to see where they go with it. But we already know, and we get into the big thing. Like I know y'all ready. Power After Hours, your favorite power podcast. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Send me a like. Send me a like on the YouTube channel. Hit those likes up if you love what you're hearing. For those of you in the chat, go crazy. Put in all your comments. We see all of them. You watching after on the replay, definitely hit us in the comments of the video as well. We respond, we talk, and we keep the conversation going. And shout out to everybody, OGs, listening in on the pod. Mad love to y'all. Hopefully y'all could get in on the live one of these days, or if not, you already know, email powerafterhourspod@gmail.com. If you can't get on the live, get your questions in. So yo, man, this family, bro, these Tejadas, bro, I thought I was watching like reality TV, bro.
Facts.
I thought I was watching reality TV, even starting off with Monet and Diana having that conversation, like, where's your brother? Where's this? I need to know. Maybe I could trust you again. If you tell me some information. Meanwhile, Diana had all the pieces of the puzzle she needed, bro.
You've been figuring this out for like 3 episodes. Figuring this out for like 3 episodes. And I thought last week when, again, Zeke is talking about some dude named Dante, the light bulb went off there. You know what I mean? Right. And just shout out to Monet and Diana's relationship is always been fraught. And I think Monet is super overprotective because we're looking at a woman who is 16 years old, had a baby, all this, her life has been tumultuous, right? And so she don't want that for her kids, but you know how you get that overbearing parent that doesn't want something for their kids and they end up pushing their kids to rebel. I think that's what we've seen. But what we've also seen is that Diana is smart, right? Like she's smart. She puts things together. She put it together with Kane, weeks ago, right? About the sugar and the coke. And it was the battle of these two women. Monet has pushed her a little too far. You know?
Pushed her way far, bro. She knew about the name Dante because of Zeke saying that the Rick Fox looking nigga tried to say that it was his dad. Then she saw the text from D. We need to talk. Then she overhears her talking about Dante, which forces her, because the trust is pretty much all the way gone with them. Monet's in her room finding the condoms, confirming that what guy is she going to even remotely be messing with like that? Tariq. So she confirms that in her mind. And Diana goes through her stuff, finds Zeke's baby picture, calls up the hospital to find out about him. And then at the dinner table, all hell breaks loose. After
World War
a
III.
whole day.
World War III.
Think about what they survived, yo. Because of all the testimony in the court, they pretty much are back in a good position for Tariq to beat the case, which means they don't get exposed. They just finished murking out the GTGs and stealing from Mecca. They just all survived. They get there, and then it just starts. It just starts with the arguments. You know what I mean? So it's like Kane and Diana start going at it, and you could see the one thing I like about Toy's nonverbal acting is you could see it in her face when she's tight.
Yeah.
Like when she's tight and she's had her limit. It's like you're biting your tongue, and it's like, no, go off. And then when she went off, bro, the floodgates opened. So first, she blows up that Kane was the one who put in the sugar, replaced the sugar with the Coke, which made him ultimately be the connect, right? And it's funny because Mo kind of had to act like she ain't hear it before.
Big surprise.
What? Hey?
Give her an award. She was amazing with that big surprise.
Right. She was like, what? What the hell? What the hell's going on? Right? So she does that. And then it's like, and yo, throughout all of these revelations, Lorenzo had me fucking crying because all he is the ad lib for everything. He's the person who's like, he's starting to learn everything that we've known as an audience, right?
100%.
So yo,
his beef with Kane, I thought was interesting, right? Like,
yeah,
you have to remember that he had Kane beat up for disrespecting Monet last season. And then he's telling Kane, like, why would you do that? You're going against the family. Don't raise up. Their tension is it's a lot. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to describe. I don't know what word, but it's a lot. It's more than volatile. You know, and Kane wants to accept it. Hey, Poppy, you think he's smart? I'm the smart one that put it in play. And Lorenzo's like, fuck you.
Yeah, you turn your back. You turn your back on this family. Like he's like, yo, forget the power play. You messed up the family's money. Like, what's going on, right? And shout out to my sister Mocha Jen dropping 25 in the super chat. Thank you, sis. I'll get to this super chat from Patrick Robbins. Who was that in Reek's room in the trailer? Thank you for the super chat, my brother. I don't know who it was. I didn't catch it, but we're gonna find out. We definitely gonna find out next week. So they get into it. So then Kate is like, yeah, you were supposed to clip Everett, and you ain't even clip him yet. And Lorenzo's like, hold on, you didn't kill Everett. And meanwhile, Zeke hears this and is like, y'all gonna kill my teammate?
Yeah.
My teammate? Like, why? Everett? Why? Meanwhile, he doesn't know. Zeke don't know that that's his man. Drew is Everett's man.
Yeah.
So he don't even know they have a sexual relationship.
Zeke is out here and I've never seen the dumb jock played better than what we've seen. Give that brother all the award because he is killing.
Yo,
loop.
Innovated stupid, bro.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you look up a loop in the dictionary, it is motherfucking Zeke. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna get to like the real, like, what?
Right, exactly. Like, listen, man. I don't know. Like, they going back and forth. They doing this, right? And listen, if y'all probably see it on Instagram on power accounts. Y'all gonna have to find the clip of. I can't play it here because they're gonna bang they're gonna hit me with a YouTube strike or whatever for copyrighted material. But yo, that whole scene where Diana unloads the clip on Monet to the ether beat, bruh.
I'll send it to you so that you can just forward it out to your folks. I'll send it to you.
Yeah. No, yeah. I'll drop it. I'll drop it in the chat. I'll drop it in the chat for those of you that are live. That are listening afterwards. You'll be able to find it. Just Google it and you'll be able to find it. But like, yeah. So it's like Kane's Coke switcheroo got blown up. Drew Not Clipping Everett got blown up. Mo gets Mo and Diana get blown up because when he's about to leave and she tries to stop him, you know what I mean? Like, yo, no, go. And she breaks on Diana about like, yeah, you lying. Yo, that whole scene was nuts. When he's like, yo, you just want running up to Stanfield because you want to go fuck Tariq. And yo, Lorenzo wasn't even tight. He was just like, come on, Diana. Like, we taught you better than that. He was like, oh, Tariq. You're sleeping with all these men in the world. You're sleeping like that. Yo, that was and it's nuts when you think about Lorenzo's mentality that the Tariq joint was the one that he was least tight about the most.
Yeah.
Out of everything, he was just like, he hears some explosive shit.
Yeah.
And he's just like aloof to it. Like, he's just kind of like oblivious. Like,
because when you think about it, on the grand scale, it was the least important piece of information.
Right.
But for Monet, it was a dagger.
Right. Monet hit her, thought he was hitting her. And Kate was like, I knew you was going to let that nigga hit.
Hilarious.
It's ill. So then when she turned around, like, you could see the anger building.
Oh, yeah.
And when she turned around and said, well, at least I ain't the only one fucking somebody I ain't supposed to, ma. Yo, I was like, nah. Yo,
jaw drop right there.
Jaw drop. I held on to my chair, bro. Like, no. Like, you know, when we've all been there. You have arguments in your family, and someone crosses the line that we all see, but if nobody's trying to cross it, because then you know you can't come back.
Yeah,
it's a one-way trip. She took that one-way trip. She passed go. She collected $200. She picked up the properties, all the blues. She picked up all the blues on the side. She got the purples in the corner. She spun the block and got boardwalk. She spun the block. She spun the block twice. When she was like, yo, you fucking some nigga named Dante, right? And then mind you, Zeke is like, hold on. You talking about the guy who said he was my dad? You know what I mean? Like, and mind you, Zeke is still oblivious.
Gotta know what is going on.
What is going on? It's like, Dante, you talking about the guy that said he was my dad? Like, I don't know no Dante. And then that's when it's like, she's like, yo, I'm out of here. So Zeke says, yo, Zeke. Then, yo, Diana is all of us that's been frustrated with Zeke this whole series that can't see. I can't see what the hell is happening. When she's like, Zeke, he's like, yo, he's not my dad, right, Auntie? He's like, Zeke, she's not your aunt, fam. She's your mom.
That was, I mean, like, I'm getting chills thinking about it because it cut so deep. You understand what I'm saying? It cut so deep. And yo, Monet, shout out to Mary J. Blige. Monet's face is in this scene, and in that moment, I mean, shattered, bro. Because the whole world is completely fucked.
Gone. She thought calling Diana a groupie was gonna hurt, but she was like, "Yo, and the whole time Lorenzo, Monet, what the fuck is she talking about? Is this true? Is that true? Yo, it definitely gave telenovela vibes. It was big telenovela vibes. Like, oh my God. Who is this man that you've been sleeping with?
Yeah.
And then on top of that, she slams the birth certificate on the table like it was domino. Like she had dominoes. She brought the dominoes down. Yo, it was over. She slapped the bones, the birth certificate on the table and was like, yo, it's funny.
This ain't even my birthday.
This ain't my birthday. He's throwing it back on. Oh, this shit is fake. This ain't my birthday. Zeke. Zeke, follow along, brother. Yeah, I called, and it wasn't from 2002. It was from 98. Now, bruh, I'm going to tell you the funniest shit out of all of that. My man Zeke, fuck the fact that this Dante dude is actually your dad.
Yeah.
Fuck the fact that your aunt is your mom.
Your aunt is your mom. Your aunt is your mom.
He was like, wait, so that means I'm ineligible for the NCAA. I'm 23. I'm ineligible, which means your lies got me in trouble again. And then he leaves, and it's like,
he's like, I didn't lie. He said, I didn't lie. What the fuck are you talking about, bro? Like your whole world, your auntie, who's your mom, who just lied to you last episode and told you your father was in jail. You was about to go see your real mother, air quotes. Like, and the first thing you're talking about is fucking eligibility?
My man said, nah, I can't go to the league because you lied about my birth. That's your mom's, bro. That is your mom.
That's your whole mother.
We can't even yo, and you know he's sick because he's like, y'all been around me selling drugs. You talking about my way to get out. I'm your way to get out. Now I can't even and you know what's funny? I was thinking about this the other day. We know Zeke ain't really that good. They probably, his scouting report is probably like, yo, he has the grown man body at 19. Yeah, because he's 23.
He's 23 years old. And let's talk about Kane. All his fucking fireworks are going on. And Kane goes, so I'm not your oldest son? Again,
yo, Kane.
again. What the fuck are you talking about?
Asshole. Kane is an asshole, bro. He's like, what's up about? So he's your oldest son? I'm not the oldest?
I'm not the oldest? Yo, bro. Yo, are you serious? Like when you were watching this scene, right? It's so explosive, but there's some, comedic relief. And then there's also some like, Zeke, I'm going to pray for you, Zeke. You know what I'm saying? Like I was floored, bro. I mean, shout out to them. They acted extremely well. Lorenzo telling her you should go. And we were waiting for it. And that's why I said this was a very satisfying episode because we wanted to know how were these storylines going to converge? And I don't think I ever thought it would be at the hands of Diana at the dinner table in front of everybody.
Exactly. And they shook it up. Lorenzo kicks her out the crib. So now she's kind of like floating. So it's funny. I can see her picking up the phone with Mecca like, yo, can we still get that deal with Rockefeller? Can we still get that deal with Rockefeller? You know what I'm saying? Like, she's gonna have to go back. Like, we don't know what's going to happen at this point. Like, is it war on Monet? Is it because remember,
it looks like it.
They all still don't know that Dante and Mecca are the same person.
Yeah. No, even Monet doesn't know that. Monet doesn't know that.
What happens when everybody finds out that they're one and the same? Then what's the vibe? You know what I mean?
That's an interesting thing. And I wonder, do we get that this season? Only because, so here's the thing, right? Because my thing is like, I always wondered, what is Monet going to say when she figures out that Dante is the plug and has been, grooming or not really grooming, manipulating Kane.
Mm-hmm.
But like so much crazy shit happens in this show and it kind of just is like, damn, that's crazy. But they move past it that maybe this isn't that big of a deal. Like it'll be a big deal to Lorenzo because the plug is actually her new boo, who's really her old boo. And you and I had this conversation earlier, which was, listen, she's been lying, but she has not fucked Dante, right?
Technically she didn't. Technically she didn't so far. She did a little kissing.
Yeah, she's a little kissing, but she has not been. She did not cheat on Lorenzo with outside of the kiss. She's not been fucking him, is what I'm saying.
Right.
Yes, she's lied about having this child, but I think that again, I love the line that she said last episode where she said, "You don't think people were making decisions for me?" She was 16 years old, so I don't know if like I get it. Lorenzo's this street dude. There's none of this nuance, but I feel like she's in a very like nuanced situation. And let's talk about the kids. Poppy's been home for 2 minutes. Even though your mother, who has been, extremely overbearing, very nutty, that's who's been taking care of you and making sure you're good.
Mm-hmm.
Your pops, he been locked up, like doing nothing, like really, like literally. So I don't know, man. I hope the kids, especially Kane. I think her and Kane now have been working together a little bit. She may be distant from some of the others, but I think Kane will come back around because he's like, oh, you a fuck up just like me.
Right. I want to get Real Dana shout out the Table of Lies. LOL. Yeah, there's a lot of lies and there was a lot of revelation on that table. Thank you so much. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, that was one of the funniest, realest seeds that I've seen in the power universe. Yeah, shout out to everybody talking, having the cheating debate in the chat. Y'all go ahead with that.
Hold on, read some of those, please. What are they saying?
I just thought cheating is cheating, and because the chat is going crazy. And I'm like, yep, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying he ain't smashed. There's a difference. I'm just saying,
right. Because he did ask. He is like, yo, you fucked the guy named Dante. She was like, nah. Well, 23 years ago, yeah,
a long time ago. Like this is old. This is old.
You know what I be thinking of? You remember the tweet? Yo, she just having a little sex, bro. She'll come back. Yo, for real. A couple before we get out of here.
They did show, and it's interesting in the flashback. They showed that what was it? It was that whatever document that was where he was saying, "I'll set your kids up. I'll set you up. All you got to do is sign." They did show that in the preview. So I wonder how that comes into play in these next 2 episodes before we close the season out.
Yeah, especially if he and that's probably one of the reasons why he's trying to hold out hope that she comes around.
Yeah.
So now it's kind of like what I'm interested to see what happens when everybody figures out Dante and Kane's connection. I mean Dante and Mecca's connection. That's when I think everything is off the table. Lorenzo's probably gonna go like right now. It ain't looking good for Lorenzo to me. Like in terms of like being around.
I agree. And he's a bit of a hothead. He's I'm giving a lot of Godfather references today, but he's very sunny with it. He's a hothead.
Exactly. And I mean, Loki, we don't even know if he know about what Monet was out here doing with Ramirez either, right? The cop.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Now, okay, Monet was cheating. I forgot she was. I felt like he was a little bit onto it in jail. It was a scene that made me think that, but all right, yeah, you're right.
Exactly. Yeah, shout out to everybody in the chat. Shoot the chat also. See, Monet has the upper hand right now. She could go hook up with Dante / Mecca and tell him not to sell to Lorenzo, dry up his supply. Yeah, that is true. Zeke was in straight up shock. He couldn't focus on his real mother. He went straight into lie about his age, messing up his chance in the NBA. Yeah, I take the shock, but he's shown that he ain't too bright in general. And when you talk about one track minded, that man's track is only on now getting to the league.
But here's the thing, like, why are you you've been lying on your age all this time? It's not like it's about to come out right now. So this is just a family come out, bro.
Right. It's like he's like Danny Almonte right now. Remember Danny Almonte, the pitcher who was like who they didn't know. I remember the joke when they were talking about El Duque from the Yankees. Nobody still don't know how old that man is. Yeah. And it was like at that point, it was like, yo, he been 40 for like 25 years. Like we don't know how old this man is, and that's how it be. Yeah. Wait, Lorenzo still don't know about Kane killing Ramirez or being tied into the Jabari murder either. Oh yeah, shit about to go down. Kane needs to die. Yeah, Kane is pushing it too. Like if Kane makes it out this season, if Kane makes it out this season, he might be Teflon, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. I think Kane makes it out this season, but he is definitely of all the kids. I don't know. They never kill a kid. You think they should? Shout out to Raina.
Right, exactly. So yeah, man. So yeah, this has been it. Shout out. Said any other comments before we get out of here?
Nah, man. Listen, Chrissy, get well. I want to shout out Taj Ronnie. Taj Ronnie, who's our people. She's up in the Power Universe heavy, and she said that they got the illest wardrobe. That no cost has been spared on this wardrobe. So I want to shout out that comment of hers. But man, appreciate you bringing me on, man. I always love to talk power with you. We've been watching this show since they debuted it on Twitter. Remember they did the Twitter first, and so I just love it that we're still here, still connecting over this show, man.
Yeah, man, and we got more spinoffs coming, more seasons. we tapped in, like this community loves raising Canaan. So we're tapped into that right now, as always. Chrissy, definitely feel better. I know she's hearing this. Send her a love, at Chrissy B. Davis on all socials. Definitely send her a love. Send her you feel better. We'll definitely, when she's back next week, she'll definitely give her synopsis on what went down at episode 8, because I know y'all want to hear from her voice too. So we got you covered there. Also, programming note for those of you listening in the pod, watching after, or in the chat now, want to give you the heads up. The season finale, we got a lot of big things going. Season finale of Power Book 2 Ghost and the season premiere of Force. We're going live right after Force, or whichever one airs second. That Sunday, we're going live right after the show. It's probably going to be like 10 o'clock, but we're going to be live. So if you're up, if you're watching those shows, tap in with us. So we're not going to be till February 6th, I want to say. That's the Sunday. Yeah. So February 6th, we're gonna go live, and it's gonna be a super show. So we're talking about the season finale of Ghost, and we're gonna roll right into Force. So it's gonna be the daily double for you. Definitely tap in. I don't know where set is gonna be. We're gonna get some good people to pop in and talk about it, because it's gonna be a lot to talk about. Got 2 more episodes, bro. 2 more episodes.
2 more, man. Great I'm outside. Season. You know to holler at me, man. Listen. I always come back over here. I love y'all. I love y'all community.
Of course, man. Thank you so much for tapping in with me. Thank y'all for listening, for tuning in. Where can the people find you, Said?
Man, I'm always on Twitter talking absolute nonsense. But a lot of Knicks love, you know what I'm saying? So like we got our show live from the Mecca. Yes, you can find me at Cedric Shine, at CEDRICSHINE. Yes, that is my real name.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Jeff J says on all social, powerafterhourspod@gmail.com. If you want to send in a question, Power After Hours on Twitter, Power After Hours on Instagram. And you just reminded me, shout out to my guy Skip. My guy Skip from BK, at Skip from BK, big supporter of the podcast, always watching. Wanted him to join live. He out having family dinner and whatnot, but he did want to leave you with this and send this before we get out of here. I'm glad I remember, because I definitely told him, y'all read it. So good evening, team. Been loving the episodes this season for the podcast. I finished the episode already, and I have a theory. Drew could become the Harry Osborn to Tariq's Peter Parker. My thoughts come from Drew going through an evolution similar to Tariq, and I feel they'll be friends turn foe. I could be early in my guess, but Drew has escalated into being as cunning as Tariq. Got me thinking it could be a future play. Let me know what you think when you get a moment. Thank you, and keep it going, y'all. From my guy Skip from BK. That would be interesting. You listen. If the way it's going to shake out with Lorenzo and who is set up to run this family, if it does end up when the smoke settles and the dust is clear to be Drew, I could definitely see him having an issue. I kind of feel like they work better together. Like, he don't really got a beef with Tariq, but I could see maybe it's another death that sets him off.
Exactly. That's right where my mind went. Is it somebody else dies and it puts them at odds.
Yeah, it's cool. So thank you, Skip, for sending in. Said, thank you for tapping in. Thank y'all for joining. We are going to be back next week. Next Monday, we're back regular time to talk about episode 9. And in 2 weeks, February 6th, we're going for the super show right after it airs. During the regular time it airs on Sundays, we're going to run. So definitely tap in, join with us, bring a friend with you, share this to all the rest of the Power community. And thank you so much for listening, and we'll lock in.